Guys, I'm filming this one quick and dirty. I just found out. I just want to get this off my chest. All right, Activision is taking their shenanigans, for lack of a better word, to a whole new level here. They're making a move right now, and they're trying to take out anybody who could possibly ever be a threat to them. They're cleaning house right now. The video we posted a few months back where we found parts of the source code for skill-based matchmaking, some of these nefarious business practices that we've talked about so much in these Call of Duty games. You know, we were able to see onboarding skill, these different buckets of strict enforcement and everything like that, the different parameters of skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, proving skill-based matchmaking exists in this kind of nefarious format, but also showing some of the functionality that we didn't know existed, like calling skill-based matchmaking parameters from Call of Duty Ghosts from your performance in past Call of Duty games. My boy, Box of Mysteries, found it. I'll give him a shout out in the description. He found these source code parameters using a tool made by some talented developers, indie developers acting independently on their own volition, working mostly for free, digging into these Call of Duty games and reverse engineering them. One of those guys was Maurice Momo, who fronts a project named XLabs, and XLabs and Momo just announced that they got a cease and desist on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the XLabs project. We're complying with this order and shutting down all operations permanently. Thank you all for the support over the years. This is insane. So a couple days ago, Activision did the same thing to SM2, which was a Modern Warfare 2 standalone project. Team member received a cease and desist on behalf of Activision. We're complying with this order. Thank you all for the support. Tells me that they might, in the cease and desist letter, actually tell them what they have to tweet or publish as their final statement for the project, because it reads almost exactly the same as the XLabs project. I think that they give them a thing they have to publish, controlling the narrative, forcing them to say exactly what Activision wants them to say, contractually obligated to do so by legal order. Losing SM2 was a big deal in the first place, but now with XLabs being executed right in front of us as well, it tells me that Activision is making a concerted effort to clean house on purpose. This is a push. They've been getting all their ducks in a row. They've been taking note of all of these projects, who is making them, what are their names, where can you find them, what are all of these different projects that are out there in the wild right now being developed by independent developers, reverse engineering the game, making standalone new clients, all these different things on the back of Call of Duty. They've been keeping a list, they're checking it twice, and now they're absolutely executing every team, studio, project, whatever that is doing things like this, which, by the way, guys, Maurice was working on, and XLabs was working on, a Black Ops 3 client that fixed a bunch of issues that were present in the PC version of Black Ops 3, right? Because it was an extremely buggy, broken port. They were working on fixing all these bugs, optimizing it better, and it's the most I've ever seen anyone be playing Black Ops 3 on PC ever because of that. Not because it's piracy, not because it's, everyone was waiting to pirate Black Ops 3 or something, but because they wanted to play it. They liked the game. They wanted to play it, and the game was pretty much unplayable and useless on PC at this point for multiplayer, with all the bugs, all the problems that it had. And Activision and Treyarch and Infinity Ward, these companies have been not having any support for these games. They only care about the current CODs. If it's not the current COD, there's going to be no dev support anymore. So they left Black Ops 3 to die. Independent developers working for free. First of all, they had to reverse engineer the whole game just to figure out how to fix it, which is a ton of work because there's no documentation, there's nothing available. And then they did, and they succeeded. And they fixed Black Ops 3. And it doesn't matter because now Activision is telling them to stop. Stop fixing our game for free. Stop improving our products that we've abandoned, that we don't care about. It's not about piracy, guys. This is not about, oh, don't pirate Modern Warfare 2. Don't play a disingenuous copy of Black Ops 3 or Modern Warfare 2. This ruins the integrity of these games that came out. Modern Warfare 2, it's like over 10 years old. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about something way deeper than that. The project that XLabs had been working on, reverse engineering these Call of Duty games, led to revelations like this, where we were able to begin piece together how the skill-based matchmaking systems worked. Don't take it at face value. What other motivation would Activision have of canceling these projects and making sure that nobody can work on things like this again in relation to Call of Duty? It's so they don't find more stuff like this, because they were probably on the precipice of figuring out some stuff that Activision did not want out there, that Activision did not want anyone to figure out. Activision is sitting there going, oh, they're reverse engineering the game. Oh, they're reverse engineering the game. They're going to figure everything out soon. If not on Black Ops 3 from reverse engineering that game, then they'll learn it from the next COD. They'll learn it from Cold War in a couple years. They'll learn it from Modern Warfare 2019 in a couple years when they dig into that game. They're going to figure this shit out eventually. So we have to put a stop to it now before they get there. And that's what they're doing. Here's the thing though, Activision. You can take down the stuff that's put out there publicly, these public projects, independently developed, just made to support your piece of shit products that you didn't support, that you didn't fucking fix. You can take that stuff down. But the problem is, if some independent developers and engineers really wanted to dig into that stuff and reverse engineer it privately and not monetize it and not get donations from it and barely publish it publicly as some project you can engage with as a player, what are you going to do about that? Because people are learning and discovering and figuring out how to really reverse engineer even the new Call of Duty titles, which you've made harder to data mine, which you've made harder to reverse engineer, but they're still figuring it out. It does take some time. Like I said, we just figured out Black Ops 3, so it takes time, but they will figure it out. How will you stop them? Does it have to do with the Microsoft acquisition where they're under all this legality and litigation and attrition? They're evaluating their prospects. They're evaluating all these different things. And they go, well, look, you're going to have to take down these fan projects. I mean, that's a big concern for us for buying the company. I don't know. There's a lot of legal shit going on right now involving Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft. I wouldn't be surprised if this has something to do with stuff that was dredged up in that case. But it's not going to be the last project that gets canceled, and it's not going to be the last time that we hear from Activision's lawyers. Even the work that we do on this channel is at risk by talking about the things that we talk about, for getting too deep, for getting too real on this platform. Talking about what Activision's really up to and these companies are really up to. We're just as susceptible to these kinds of threats. We got to stay strong here. We got to figure out a way forward, of course. I hope that we find a path forward where projects like XLabs don't have to die. I reached out to Maurice. I hope he comes on the show. I hope he talks to us about this. I would love to speak to him. He was initially slated to come on the show and talk to us a few months ago, but he got extremely busy with the Black Ops 3 project. It just really turned into its own beast. It around that time, Black Ops 3 project for XLabs blew up in popularity. Like, it just surged. And so he got very busy, couldn't come on the show. I think there's so much value that we could learn from speaking to these talented people working on these projects. But I really want to maintain here, Activision's cleaning house. If there's any projects like this out in the wild, they will soon also receive cease and desists. If you're doing work like this, if you know anyone who's doing work like this, keep it on the down low as long as you can, honestly. Because the moment it starts to get traction and it pops onto Activision's radar, they're going to try to shut it down with their lawyers, compel you not only to destroy your project and scrap it, but to say exactly the stuff they want you to say about it. These projects like XLabs and SM2, they're dead, bludgeoned, killed by Activision. Projects that were only intended to ever just improve the shoddy job that Activision and its developers did on the PC ports of some of these games, or the fact that they're just not supporting them anymore and they don't work as well anymore, breathing new life into them. But that was unacceptable to Activision. They don't want you playing these old games. They want you to be playing the new Call of Duty, to spend money on the new Call of Duty. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you on these old games. They don't want you reliving the glory days. They don't want the nostalgia trips. They just want you to buy and play the new Call of Duty and buy skins and buy loot boxes and do all this dumb shit. It's crazy, it's disgusting, and it's no coincidence. 3 months before this happened, we published videos explaining in detail the findings of the skill-based matchmaking algorithm and how it works, and we are coming closer and closer to uncovering some disgusting truths about Activision and their shady business practices. We already discovered a few with this video and subsequent videos, and Activision knew that. They knew that we were on the precipice of some insane revelations that were going to change people's minds about playing Call of Duty. Anyone who was a critical thinker, it was going to change their minds about Call of Duty. Even as a casual player, just the integrity of their play sessions would be compromised indefinitely. Warzone would be ruined, and people would also start to be able to reverse engineer the algorithm in a way to exploit it, to circumvent skill-based matchmaking potentially. They don't want any of these things to happen. They're going to take down all these projects, cease and desist for working for free to fix their game. They're going to sick their lawyers on you for working for free to fix their game. It's ridiculous. It's another nail in the coffin that should signal to you that your time, your money is not best spent on Call of Duty titles, on Activision titles. I hope in some way we can figure out a way to make it work, and more projects like that can happen in the future, and we can continue to reverse engineer these games, figure out what makes them tick, figure out how skill-based matchmaking works and how these systems work. And so we could gain more knowledge and transparency, because we have to fight for that ourselves. Activision's never going to give it to us. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on this. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all these inner workings of this industry, this franchise, these companies, these projects. Subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Share it around. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one.